from Hollywood and the four corners of the world. You asked for it. Starring Rich Little. Here's the star of You Asked For It, Rich Little.
Thank you, and welcome to the only show on television that goes anywhere in the world just because you asked for it. Tonight from Japan, an island where rabbits live like kings. From Egypt, a $16 million horse who never won a race. A town where everybody's a circus star, and much, much more. But first, the atom bomb is today's ultimate weapon. But in a war over 500 years ago in Belgium, the ultimate weapon was a pair of stilts. Today, they reenact that battle with a colorful and exciting pageant as dangerous as the original war. Our Margaret Davies brings us the story because Gail Schuler of Reseda, California, you asked for it.
This might sound like a tall tale, but that's because it is. We're in Namur, Belgium, a small town located at the junction of two great rivers, the Sambre and the Meuse. This strategic location has made it a battleground for wars throughout its 1,100-year history. But it's the people of Namur that make it a special place, and their lives are filled with tradition. This one may be called a stilted view of history. It began in the 1300s when a nobleman named Johann of Flanders laid siege to the town and tried to starve its inhabitants into submission. A delegation from the town begged him to lift the siege. He replied there would be no pardon, not if they came by boat, foot, horse, or wagon. The Namurians' answer to this ultimatum was to arrive on stilts. Jehan was so amused he decided to pardon the whole town. Stilt fighting competitions have been held here each year since that legendary siege.
Up with the arm. Fight!
When the battle begins, two teams of 20 men line up facing each other. The melons represent the people of Namur. They're the ones on the red and white stilts. The other team, called the Avres, represent the enemy and have yellow and black stilts. The rules allow the men to use elbows and fists. They're also allowed to knock their opponent's stilts into the air. However, no grabbing is permitted. The object is to knock down all the members of the other team. The melons are carrying the You Asked For It banner into battle with them. In fact, this entire battle is being done exclusively for You Asked For It. It's the You Asked For It team representing the people of Namur. And there you have it, high-level Belgian diplomacy. The Belgians get a kick out of it, and we hope you did too. Especially you, Gail Schuler, because you asked for it.
This is General George Patton. This business of soldiers on stilts is highly overrated. I put the First Army on stilts when we wanted to cross the Rhine River. The Germans promptly counterattacked with a battalion of beavers. All I can say is, our war is vicious. Coming up next, Japan's mysterious islands of rabbits.
We'll be back.
And now back to Rich Little.
A rabbit that swims. Oh, that's crazy. Well, what about a whole island of wabbits who live just like kings? On their own island off the coast of Japan live some really strange rabbits. Our Tony Thomas investigated this odd and overpopulated bunny haven because Richard Harrison of Oklahoma City, you asked for it.
Each day at 7:30 in the morning, this boat sets out from the town of Nagoya, Japan. It crosses the bay to a small, picturesque island inhabited by an unusual community. This is Rabbit Island, and it's mealtime for the inhabitants. Once a day, the boat brings a shipment of food. Although they're not tame, the rabbits are accustomed to humans, for Rabbit Island is a popular tourist attraction. Chopped lettuce, however, is only the appetizer. For a main course, the rabbits are treated to deep-fried shrimp, fried fish, and sometimes even meat. These lucky fellows are probably unique in the rabbit world. Some years ago, scientists discovered rabbits had a taste for something other than carrots and lettuce, and their menu hasn't been the same since. In addition, the residents of Rabbit Island receive excellent medical care. Dr. Toyaki Osaki, a veterinarian, makes frequent trips from the mainland to treat cuts and scratches inflicted by hawks that often patrol the island's skies. Life for the rabbits here is idyllic, with plenty of time for an occasional dip in the ocean. Unlike most of their species, these rabbits have no fear of water, and they calmly brave the terrors of the deep, at least along the shore. For a helpless, hunted rabbit, life on this island is a paradise, and we saw it because you asked for it.
Well, this is Jimmy Stewart. Japan has its rabbits, and Hugh Hefner has his bunnies, and I have good old, lovable Harvey. What's that, Harvey? You'd like to see another fascinating story from the past with Jack Smith? Well, that's wonderful, Harvey. Why don't we go over here and listen to Jack? Now.
Well, thank you, Harvey and friend. Rich, we met hundreds of wonderful people in the course of filming the original You Asked For It. But in 1956, we received a letter asking us to visit Gibsonton, Florida, a town between Tampa and Sarasota, calling it one of the most unusual towns in the world. Well, it certainly was, and the people we met there were very special. We called it Circus Town because the citizens and officials of that town were all circus people. Here it is.
This is Gibsonton, Florida, along U.S. Route 41. At a passing glance, it looks just like any other town on the road between Tampa and Sarasota. Only when you meet its citizens do you realize this is one of the most unusual towns in the world. Gibsonton, Florida is a town that's run by circus and carnival people. The president of the Chamber of Commerce is a giant, and a midget is one of the policemen. There's only one barber shop in Gibsonton, run by Tinker Jim. Lots of men come in here, but once in a while he gets a lady customer, too. Priscilla, the bearded lady, needs her whiskers trimmed the year round, of course. And here, nobody gives it a second thought. It's a pretty healthy community. One doctor for about 1,000 population. Folks like the Taylors here. She's billed as the dog-faced girl. They get yearly checkups just like anyone else. We've heard a lot about Dot. She weighs, I believe, about 600 pounds. Happily married and one of the best read and educated leaders in town. A sideshow attraction for over 20 years, and she says she has a memory and a figure about the same, like an elephant's. Well, here among old friends, she lives a good life. Now, the Porters live over there, but I'll bet you can't guess who lives in their guest house. Yes, that's just about the finest home that show monkeys ever had. No one would ever guess it, but that's what the Porters want, privacy for the monkeys and themselves. When the Porters go on the road, they work a monkey speedway. This little fellow won his wings long ago. Even when they come home for the winter season, they take a flyer once in a while, just to remind the monkeys they're still in business. Perfect takeoff there. And look at him go. Right now, we're going to meet the big wheel of this community, Al Tomani. Al stands at 8 feet 4.5 inches in size 22 shoes. He's president of the Chamber of Commerce and Fire Department and a deputy sheriff. His children adore him. By the way, when Al's not at home, he also operates a motor court, trailer park, restaurant, TV sales store, fishing camp, and boat basin. But more important to him, of course, are his 2 daughters and his wife. Together, the Tomanis were called the world's strangest couple by Ringling Brothers, and yet today they lead a happy life. Jeannie was born without lower limbs, but she's brought up the girls and done housework like any other wife. The wonderful thing is how the people in this town have joined together, each a little strange to the outside world, but perfectly normal to each other. But now watch. Remember, this amazing housewife has but half a body. There's real evidence that show people are remarkable people, even more so when you meet them in person rather than as exhibits under the big top. You asked for it.
That was wonderful, Jack, wonderful. You know, sometimes I think those people have more fun than we do.
They really seem to make the most of what they have, don't they, Rich?
Absolutely. And if people make fun of them, I think they're the ones that have the handicap, not those people.
You're so right.
Coming up next, the $16 million horse who never won a race. Stick around, sweetheart. We're coming back.
And now back to Rich Little.
Say, what do you want to see? Mammoth monsters? Or puzzling people, astounding animals? No matter what your request is, challenge us to do the impossible. Just write, you asked for it, P.O. Box 1980, Hollywood, California, 90028. A $16 million horse, and he's never won a race. Some of these prize Egyptian Arabian horses are actually beyond price because they will never be sold. They are the top stallions of one of the great bloodlines of the horse world and are controlled by the Egyptian government. To find out who puts that fabulous price tag on them and why, we sent our Janet Langhart to Cairo because Chrissy Tack of Delton, Michigan, you asked for it.
When you watch them run freely, even as yearlings, you begin to realize that the Egyptian Arabian horse is truly one of nature's masterworks of art.
These young horses were bred this year at Azeraher. They're untried and unbroken. And if you're willing to take a chance, they are for sale for the price of $40,000 to $60,000 each.
The Egyptian-Arabian stallions being led down this road represent perhaps $100 million on the hoof. They're among the most valuable horses in the entire world. We'll watch as Dr. Mohammed Mousafi, the aristocratic Egyptian Secretary of Agriculture, decides which stallion is best suited for breeding purposes. The chosen horses, owned by the Egyptian government, are never sold. But American and European breeders would gladly pay $15 million apiece for them. Our You Asked For It cameras will help you see these horses as Dr. Mousafi sees them. An exclusive behind-the-scenes view of the choice of a horse worth millions. With his expert eye, he will examine every inch of these stallions. The top choice will become the premier stallion for the breed. His offspring will be eagerly sought, provided they are as nearly perfect as their sire. The legs must be straight, the joints large and well-formed, hoofs neither too large nor too small, perfectly shaped, the back typically short, well-muscled, the croup or rump typically flat, tail full and straight, hanging, the neck joined properly to the shoulder and head. Movement must be balanced, no sign of injury or lameness. Head well set on the neck, eyes alert, intelligent, no behavior problems evident. All of these factors must go together into the formation of the perfect horse. The pedigree of a stallion means nothing if it has major faults in any of those areas. A single fault in the legs, shape of the head or hoof can reduce its value by hundreds of thousands of dollars. Pedigree is important. However, meticulous records trace the lineage of Egyptian Arabians back for generations beyond counting. The bloodlines of these horses are more completely known than those of the human kings and queens. As the judges walk toward what Americans would call a corral, Dr. Mousafi has narrowed the competition to the Gray Sahil and the chestnut Ibn Sahar Zeta. The final trial of the great Arabian stallions is the free jump, where they run an obstacle course without riders. And the final decision, it's a tie between Sahil and Ibn al-Sahar Zeta. The value of each horse put at $16 million.
Because you asked for it, we've taken you into a world entered by few but the very wealthy. These horses may not exactly be bargains, but you have to agree, they are beautiful.
The Arabian horse is indeed a beautiful animal. But you may not know that their blood is bred into sport horses and race horses, and on a regular basis, too, to add stamina to the breeds. That's for endurance and durability. And no breed equals that small, desert-hardened horse called the Arabian. And I gotta tell you, everybody should own at least one.
You'll see more of Rich Little and You Asked For It in a minute. And now back to Rich Little.
Thank you. Boy, I'll tell you, the things people request on this show. Dear Rich Little, would you stick your head in a lion's mouth? Linda Newsom, Rebecca, Georgia. I stick my head in a lion's mouth. Dear Linda, if I said yes, I'd be lying. Wait a minute, it gets worse. Seriously, I would if you could find me a dead lion. Oh, I hate to deliver a line like that. We had a note from Miss Kimberly Burchett, I think, who asked us, well, she said, I don't think Rich Little can do Miss Piggy. I think Miss Piggy would be impossible for him to do. And I challenge him to do Miss Piggy.
Well, Kimberly, you're absolutely right. I've never been able to do Miss Piggy. That's because I have that frog in my throat!
That's all today. See you next time on... Good night, everybody.
This is John Harlan speaking. You Asked For It is a Sandy Frank production.